Hello, writers. Welcome to this week's Writer's Tool Shed. Week 8 example story. When Ada was diagnosed with chronic arthritis, she redesigned the interior of her house. Using the latest technology, she made sure that machines could do the housework for her. Vacuuming was done by the Roomba, dishes were washed by a top of the line dishcraft, Google Home turned on and off the lights. Even a Foldamate was designated the more complicated job of folding clothes. When her friends asked her why she had paid so much money and diverged so far from her normal household routine, Ada always answered with the same curt phrase: "It just isn't worth the pain." So, our first word here is chronic. It's an adjective. It means lasting for a long time or keeps coming back. You hear the word chronic, especially related to different kinds of disease like chronic heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease. These are diseases that last, and they're not here and then going away, but they can either extend for many years or they go away and then come back. Chronic versus constant. Constant means like literally not stopping. So if you hear someone saying, "Oh, I'm in constant pain," that means they're saying the pain literally never stops over a period of time. Chronic doesn't necessarily mean constant. The pain could go away and then come back, go away, come back. But chronic has the sense of lasting for years, rather constant has the sense of lasting for maybe hours or even days. Interior is a noun, meaning the inside or the inner parts. This is pictures of interior design, which means you're designing the inside of the house. You don't really care about the outside of the house because you're doing the interior. Interior versus exterior. The exterior is the outside. So you hear these words describing houses, describing buildings, describing even countries, where the exterior of the country is the part next to the borders. The interior would be the part near the middle. Designate is a verb to select and set aside for a purpose. This finger is designating rabbit number 3 on the right. And it's very similar to the word choose, but there's a slight difference in, if you notice, designate has the word sign in the middle, and that's the root word where it's to kind of like put a sign on, like you're labeling, you're showing a sign, hanging a sign, telling everybody like this is the one and this is what it's for. Choosing doesn't have that same sense necessarily of showing everyone. Like you might in your mind choose which rabbit you're going to use for the job, but then it's not until you point it out that now you have designated and everybody sees that this one is the one. Diverge is a verb to move in a different direction, branch off. The sign is showing that the road diverges into two different directions here. Diverge versus divide. Divide has more the sense of being related to groups. So you might have a group of people and then you're going to divide them into two groups. They're kind of you imagine them all standing still, and then now they're still standing still in two groups. But diverge has the sense of an ongoing road or a pathway or a train of thought. So it's like you're in motion and moving somewhere, but then these two things that are in motion split off and they go in different directions. Last one is curt, an adjective, and it's a statement that is very short without manners. So if you imagine an angry cat or a grumpy person, and you go to them and you say, "How are you doing?" and they say, "Fine." And then you say, "Oh, you don't sound fine." And they say, "What do you mean? I'm fine." They're being curt with you. They're being very short. They're not really caring whether they're being polite or not. Curt is a little bit different than rude. If you're rude, then you're all out like saying something that is insulting or very improper. But curt, you're not necessarily saying anything improper. You're not being insulting, but it's just more your tone of voice and your way of speaking shows that you are upset.